Hey everyone, this is Prerna, and today I am coming up with a demonstration of small florals, how you can do the florals with the oil pastels. And I got a lot of requests that especially roses, how we can do with the oil pastels. So I'm just going to give you the small hint that how oil pastels work. So here I have a few colors place, and I'm going to use these different colors for different purposes. I am using the mix range of color. Here I have Camel Artist brand colors, and I'm also using a Mugi oil pastels. So these are the mix colors I have right now, but you can use any color, whatever you have will work. Now before starting, you have to understand what exactly is your oil pastel type. Is your oil pastels are very waxy, or it has some medium range of wax where it's not very soft and not very hard. So it depends what exactly you want to draw and what type of pastels you have, so it all matters. Now I'm going to show you that all the colors that I am using here. So it's yellow, then this color, skin color, orange, red, this is maroon, then it's blue, black maybe, I'm not sure I'm going to use black or not, but as I have a limited color, so in that case maybe I can use black. Light green, then it's a olive green, and then I have this sap green. So these are the colors that I will be using. I'm going to start with the orange oil pastel. Make sure your pastels are quite cleaned from above so that you get those vibrant paintings. Now what I'm going to do, I will place a dot. This way I can add a dot, and then around the dot I can just this way add few dashes here and there randomly. Okay, another one I want here, so I will put a dot, and then around it I'm simply going to put some dashes in different direction, and I'm doing this randomly. Another one, again I can put a dot, and then around that I can this way use some red also, just here and there I can use a red. Or now I'm going to pick my white color. So I'm going to pick my white color, and simply I am just going to go on top of those, and I will blend it. And leave few spaces in between. There should be a few space or breathing space there in between. Another one here, and whatever is the direction you have applied that mark, the same way you are going to apply that pastel. Don't try to cover it completely. Few organic strokes are always needed, so it's a pure paint. Just blend those dashes here and there randomly. Without touching much florals. Again I'm going to show you. This time I can do it with red, and then I am just adding few strokes here and there just to create a depth in our work. just put one dot, and around that dot you can put some dashes this way randomly. And then I need my white color, and with white I am simply going to blend in that direction, blend those florals, not all. My red color, I am just going to add few this way, and you can see I started getting the impression of roses. Again I can do it with same a red, around that red few dots, now I need again white, and randomly around that floral I am just going to add this way. And then again few crisp stroke I can keep. And this way we can do with any color, you can take any color. Here I have this maroon, and then again I added few dashes around randomly this way, and then white. With white I can just blend in those directions, spread the paint, and then again few, you can go with my black, and this way I can just put few darkness around so that I can get a depth. I can create a depth here and there. And this way I'll get a depth around this. Same way I'm going to do here. Let's create a depth around floral. And these floral started getting into notice. Okay, and then I can use my green color, and then simply I will go and do some leaves. Leaves again I can do with different colors. Same way here. And then I can switch my color. And then I can also use this to highlight more those areas. Florals, highlight leaves, and see how beautiful impression it's giving. If I add on top, it gives me like a shade. And then with my this way I can add few stems. And if you want to add more, you can. And half I can add a shade of light and dark. And this is how we create the florals. Just with a few I created this floral, and then if you want some kind of background, so that is also possible. I can with my this blue, let's see how it goes if I add some background here and there. So here you can see how it is looking when I added a background, and without background you can see the result here. So just let's see how we can add from the side angle. I'm using orange again. You can see adding a dot, and around the dot I can add this way few dashes randomly. You don't have to be specific, just do it randomly. Again with the same I can add few more dashes. Sometimes it can be messy, and sometimes make sure that there is a few gap in between. And then one I can do with red. And I get this question that oil pastels are quite broad, that how I can create those tiny dashes. So you just find this way, the side which you have used, that side get a little bit sharper. So when you put a mark, you will get a sharp edge. And now what I'm going to do, simply I'm going to use my white color, and then I'm going to blend in that direction. Where I have placed the mark, I can blend in that direction, and still I have few pigment in my pastel. I can make use of that, and I can add a random this way again. Same here with red, randomly adding few dashes. Few areas I have blended, few places I kept the orange the same color, and the white space. So these are the few things that you have to maintain. And now I can use again the same color or the different color. So I'm using red. so that I can create a depth in floral. So again I'll go here and there, and randomly same way I can add some color, so it will give me a kind of feeling of that depth or detail in a floral. Same way here. So where I place those white mark, I can simply randomly go, and this way I can add few shades. It will give me a darker impression. It will give me a feeling of depth in a painting. And then I can go a little bit more darker, and this is a maroon color. I'm using this maroon in a center so that it gives me more depth. And let me show you once again. I'm going to make a dot, and around that dot I'm going to add few dashes. Randomly I'm adding few dashes, and then with my white I'm going to mark in the same direction, or randomly it can be a messy, but make sure that you are maintaining few crisp color and few white areas. Now I'm going to use the red for shade or adding depth in my work, especially in the center part, this way. And to give more depth I can use another darker color, this one. It's a dark maroon. And then if you want to use black just to add that tiny dot, you can use, or you can just leave this way. Let's this time try with a red. I'm adding a red dot, and around that red dot I can add this way randomly. Now here I want to create a side impression. I want to show the side part of a floral. So one side I'm going to keep red and the less dashes, and the another side I can keep this way, lot of dots. And then I can use my color this way, randomly adding those shapes. And still I have some pigment left, I can make use of that. And now I can use a darker color, so I'm using this maroon for the center part. If I want to use a black little bit, I can use that. And few strokes, just a few strokes, if you do it around the floral, it will give a sense of again the depth in a painting. And then I can go with black. I don't have that darker color, so I'm going to use black. And you can see just around, when I'm using black, this floral is getting more and more into notice. Not much. Make sure you are not overdoing the process, otherwise you will not get that impression. Okay, same I can do with this floral. So in center I can add black so that I can separate these flowers, and at the same time I can create some depth. So I created that darkness around, and now I can use my green. So I'm using sap green of Camel brand, and then I can create this way some leaves. Now you have to keep a composition rule in mind. Don't just randomly create here and there. To get a beautiful painting, you have to keep a composition also in mind. So according to that, I'm adding few leaves here and there. And with the back side, you can see the sharp edge I can use for just creating this way stems. And I can connect this. Wherever I want, but it will look good if you do it according to the composition. Now I can use to add some highlights in leaf. So I'm using this olive green. So on top of that sap green, I can randomly add another shade. So it can give a feeling of a fold in leaf, or one side is high in highlight and another side in darkness. So we are doing blending on the spot. We are not dragging paint or lifting. We are blending in that area only without disturbing the other areas. And then if you want to create a background, you can do it, but I want to keep it like this only. Like if I add a blue here and there, so it can create the sense of a breathing space. It can become the part of background. It will look very nice if I add